everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do something a little bit different. I thought I would share with you a few tips and tricks that I've learned over the last few years. Now some of these things I didn't really think I needed to make a video on because other people have made videos on this and I just didn't think that one more video would necessarily be helpful. But I have had people ask me specifically about a couple of these tips and have told me that it would be helpful if I shared them with you guys. So the first one, I have four by the way, 4 little tips and tricks. I'm sure there's others that I know of that I'm just not thinking of. So if you guys ever think of anything that you think I might know about, let me know. It could just be that it's something so simple that I'm just not thinking that it would be something that I should share with anybody. Or if I think of more in the future, I will make note and possibly make more videos in the future. All right, so the first one is really easy. It's just replacing brushes on your polishes that have the really skinny brushes, like old school China glaze polishes or Essie. This one I have is Salon Perfect. Now Salon Perfect has the really skinny brushes. So I get my replacement brushes from KB Shimmer. I know Glisten and Glow also does replacement brushes. I believe I've heard that they're pretty much the exact same brush. I don't know if they're like the same manufacturer, but they're pretty much the same brush. KB Shimmer is slightly cheaper, and I actually purchase from KB Shimmer pretty regularly, and I don't ever really purchase from Glisten and Glow. So for me, it makes more sense to just purchase from KB Shimmer whenever I make whenever I'm buying polishes. If you don't purchase from KB Shimmer and you purchase from Glisten and Glow, even though they're slightly more expensive, it would make more sense to just buy from Glisten and Glow. Anyway, so they sell them with just the brush or they sell them with the cap. Now, when I first started replacing my brushes, I guess I didn't realize that you could just replace the brush and you could keep the original cap. So I was replacing all of my China glazes and I had the ones with the replacement cap that fits here that KB Shimmer sells. And so I replaced probably like a good 15 or so China glaze polishes using the KB Shimmer caps, getting rid of my my China glaze caps and the brushes before I somehow realized that I could just pull the brush out and use the cap. And so I'm really, really disappointed that I no longer have the China glaze caps because I like my polishes to all have the same caps because it's easier when I'm looking for a certain polish. Oh, I know it's China glaze, so I can go in to my color drawer and look for the China glaze cap and it's easier to find things. So another reason why I thought this might be helpful is maybe some of you didn't know that either. So first what you do is you have your brush. If you're just replacing the brush, if you're just replacing the top, it's even easier. You simply take this out, throw it out, and then put the new brush and lid on. But if you're replacing just the brush, so what you do is first you take off as much polish as you can. It'll be less messy this way. So you just brush off all the polish. Okay. Then you take a paper towel, you grip your cap really firmly, and then you wrap the paper towel around the brush. Some of them are a little bit harder to get rid of, to pull apart. I believe these Salon Perfects are a little bit harder. Oh, that one's leaking through. That one's really, I didn't take off enough. Okay, so you grip firmly and you just pull. Sometimes you have to wiggle. Yeah, these Salon Perfects are really hard to get off. You have to really wiggle. I think with these Salon Perfects, I ended up having to get pliers. So I might have to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, that was really hard. That took me a minute. The China glaze ones, and I believe the Essie ones, they pop out pretty simply. You just pull and they pull apart. So you can see like this round part is stuck inside the cap. I can't really tell because it's cap making some noise. And then you just pull and it just pops out. So then you have your cap, you have your brush, you just throw that away because you don't want it. It's skinny and useless. Then you take your new brush. Now the KB Shimmer ones, they're kind of stiff at first because they have some kind of like coating on them. I guess it's to prevent them from like splaying during shipment or whatever. You take it, you just put it right like that. And then you take your cap that you want to keep. If you're not using the cap and you're using the other one, it's the same process. You just put the KB Shimmer cap on. You put it on, and you twist, and you see how it'll kind of do like that. You just twist it some more. Twist it till it goes all the way down and doesn't twist anymore. And then you have that, and then you can untwist it to check, and you can see now the cap is in the brush. And now you have a nice brush. Now these KB shimmers, I know they fit China Glaze, they fit Essie, they fit Salon Perfect, they don't fit Orly, they do fit OPI. Yes, yes, they fit OPI, I believe. They don't fit Zoya. They don't fit a couple indie brands. I know that they don't fit. I know they don't fit all of Av brushes, bottles. They don't fit Enchanted Polish. My friend Lisa told me, I told her, oh, let me try. She said, no, don't bother, because she had already tried and it didn't work. I know they do fit a couple different indie ones, but I can't think off the top of my head which ones, because typically indie ones usually come with better brushes, so I don't quite remember, because it's not something that I have to do regularly. But anyways, now you have your new bottle with the new brush, and eventually that stiffness will go away. You just do that a couple times and the polish will kind of soften up. And now you have a new brush on your polish. Okay, the next trick is thinning out thickened polish. I do this pretty regularly, so I had to really find a polish that I could, share with you to show this. But I did find a glitter that's not terrible, but it is starting to get, you can see that, starting to get a little bit thick. So normally when you have like acrylic or glitter polish, they're the ones that really thicken up. What happens is over time, the base, which is, what everything is suspended in, it's the base, starts to evaporate. And so you're left with less base, but you still have all the glitter there. So it thickens up because it has less base to swim around in, so it starts to get thick. Now when it first starts to thicken out, you can use what's called a polish thinner. Don't ever use acetone, use a polish thinner. And that works really well initially, but eventually when the polish gets really old and it just really starts getting really thick, the thinner is no longer going to work, and it's just going to keep getting gloopy, gloopy, gloopy. It's going to be a hot mess. I wish I had known about this trick years ago, because I got rid of so many glitters and so many Crellies, like indie Crellies, all my KB Shimmer Crellies that, I've been collecting from KB Shimmer for, I want to say over 10 years. And so I had all her original old school Crellies, and I got rid of them all because I didn't know about this trick, and I really wish that I had known this then, because I could have saved all of my beautiful Crellies. Anyways, so the trick is that basically you need to replace the base that has evaporated. So I've seen a lot, or I've heard a lot of people talking about how you can use like nail polish top coat, like a cheap nail polish top coat like Sally Hansen. I personally don't do that because I use actual nail polish base that you make polishes with, but I have heard that it works pretty well. I can't vouch for that. To me, I feel like, just based on science, I feel that the base would work a lot better, because top coats aren't meant to actually suspend glitters in, they're just meant to sit on top of polish. But if you only have like 1 or 2 polishes that you want to fix, and you don't really want to go out and buy, a bunch of expensive base, because you have to order it online and then you have to pay shipping, and you just wanted to fix like 1 or 2 glitters, then you could probably just use like Sally Hansen quick dry top coat, or any kind of top coat that you want, I imagine, but don't take my word for that. Anyway, so I use nail polish base because I do make nail polish. I readily have base available. So I get mine from TKB Trading. They have a bunch of supplies. They have bottles, they have pigments, they have nail polish base that you can buy. I get my base from them. They have a glitter base, and then they have a regular base if you want to do like just like creams or whatever. I get the glitter base. It's called Glamour Base. I pour mine into a smaller bottle, so it's easier for me to work with when I'm making my polishes. So you can get smaller sizes, or you can get the big sizes. Because I make nail polish, I get the bigger size, and then I just transfer them into smaller, so it's easy to work with. Anyways, this is gonna be a long video, guys. Sorry. So basically what you do is you just take off your cap. You see how you have that much space left? Now some of that is, because I've used it, but a lot of that extra space is because it's dried out. So all you have to do is fill in the space with base. So you just squeeze it in. Don't fill it completely because you need room to be able to mix. And then you just get a mixer or, you know, like a little stirring rod, a toothpick, whatever you have. And then you just start to mix it in, mix it up. Now I honestly, because I make nail polish, I have little measuring cups that I use to mix with. And then I also have a little, like a electric mixer that I use. So for me personally, I would pour this into a cup and I would mix it just because I have the supplies, you know, available to me. But I don't expect anyone else to just run out and, you know, grab a mixer just so that you can do this. So for purpose of this video, I will just use the stirrer. So then you just do that. And then you can test it out. You can see if it needs more thinner or more base. I'm gonna just pour more in because just off of experience, I know that it just needs more. Okay, so now there's really no more room to put any more in. It's pretty full, it's all the way up here. Actually, I think I added a little bit too much because it poured out too fast. I didn't see how quickly it was pouring. So just scoop some of it out. There you go. Because you need room for your brush to go back in without overflowing. So you just mix it up really good. Scrape off the sides. And put your lid back in. And then you can just give it a good shake. This works really well with crowleys and glitters. I've never had to try it with creams because honestly, I've never really had creams that go bad quickly. And there you go. So now you can see all the space is filled up. It's thinner. And now it's a better polish. It's not thick anymore. Okay, the next one, I actually can't take credit for this at all. My friend Carolina taught me this trick. We were talking about one of her favorite polishes is Essie Gelato. And I'd been wanting that polish for years, but I held off on ever getting it because so many people talked about how it had such a terrible, terrible formula, 3 coats and it's still streaky. But I finally got it because it's just such a pretty color and the color just really called to me. So I got it and I swatched it on my nails, and after 3 coats, it was streaky and just had a couple bald. It's my puppy and my cat. They're fighting with each other, playing with each other. And it was still streaky, and I was talking with Carolina and she told me this trick. I think she said she learned it from maybe Sheila. I can't remember who she said she learned it from. I want to say it was possibly Sheila. Anyway, so what you do is when you have a really streaky polish is you do your first coat, you let it dry fully, and then you use a matte top coat. The only matte top coat I have, because I don't do matte top coats, is Zoya's matte. I kept one just in case I ever, for some reason, wanted to do matte. So I did happen to have one. So you do your 1 coat, you let it dry fully, then you do 1 coat of the matte top coat, let it dry fully. Sorry, my animals. Let it dry fully, and then you do your next coat and then possibly your 3rd coat if you need it. And I don't know the magic behind it, but making the nails matte, I don't know if it just makes the next coat stick to it better and more smoothly. I don't know how it works, but it's magic, it works. So I did that with Gelato. I did 1 coat and then I did the matte top coat, and then I did 2 more coats. It still did need 3 coats, but those 3 coats were smooth and it had no bald spots, no streaking. It was just amazing. So I'm gonna include my picture of Gelato. I actually used it today. I'm wearing, oh, by the way, let me share my man name because I get so many questions. I always forget to leave in the description box what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Dippin' Dots from Salon Perfect. This one is in Lime Ice, and then my topper is Enchanted Polish, Song and Dance. So these are streaky. They're beautiful. I have the whole collection. I love them. They're beautiful, but they are streaky. Even after 3rd coats, you can sometimes have, if you're not careful, you can have bald spots or streaks. So I did this with this many. I did 1 coat, then 1 coat of the matte top coat, and then 1 more coat. And with just the 2 coats, it was really nice. It was smooth. There's maybe 1 or 2 nails that had just a little bit of kind of like a streaky bald, not really bald spot, just like a little bit of streak in it. But because I knew I was putting a topper on, it was perfect. And honestly, even if I wasn't doing the topper, I probably just would have done just that one nail, just done a third coat. But this went from 3 coats to 2 coats with using the matte top coat trick. Now, if you watched my April Manis, you saw me talking about an OPI, pink OPI, I forget the name of the polish. It was a pale pink OPI that I tried to wear 3 different times, and it was just fails each time. So, and then I mentioned how I was gonna try a trick. I'm gonna try this. I just did my nails, so I don't wanna take, to do this on camera. But before I upload this video, I will try that trick. And I don't know, I've never done this with that polish, so it could be that OPI is so terrible that it can't even be salvaged with this trick. But I'm gonna try it, and if it works, I will insert the picture and I'll leave like a little blurb on whether or not this trick worked, because that polish, even after 4 coats, was still streaky and just unwearable. So we'll see if this trick worked, and I'll let you know. Hey everyone. So I did go ahead and use the trick on the pink OPI. And honestly, I'm pretty surprised by how well it turned out. So I ended up using 3 coats of polish instead of 4. It was almost good at 2, which would have been perfect, because then it would have just been 2 coats and then the matte top coat 3. That would be 3 coats, and then my top coat would have been 4. But I did need a 3rd coat. So that means that I'm still using 5 coats of polish, because 3 coats of this, and then the matte top coat, and then the glossy top coat. However, before, when I tried wearing this, it was 4 coats plus a top coat, so it was still 5 coats, but it was still streaky and had bald spots. This one, there's no streaks, there's no bald spots. So I would consider this a success, even though I did still need to use the same amount of coats. It's at least looks good in those amount of coats. So is it practical? Probably not. I mean, who really wants to mess around with 5 coats of polish with top coat, but it does work. All right, now the final trick is something that I didn't learn anywhere. It was just something that made sense to me. I did not invent this at all. It's just that I haven't seen anyone talking about this. And because I make nail polishes, the science behind it just makes sense to me. It's kind of similar to how you thin out your glitters. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking a glitter polish, a glitter topper that is too dense, and I want it to be more sparse, because I like my glitter toppers to be sparse. I like just to have like a dainty speckly effect. Like even this topper today is gorgeous. It's one of my favorite toppers. I love it, but it's just a little bit too dense for me. And I wish I had done this before I wore this, before I did it. So the Rogue Lacquer toppers, I love them. They're beautiful. I love the colors. They have such a wonderful variety, but their toppers are too dense. So what I do is I take the topper and I make it more sparse, less dense. So how I do that is I have a little mini bottle. Now I get these from TKB Trading because I make nail polishes. I have them on hand. I'm going to link TKB Trading down below, by the way, and I'll link KB Shimmer where I get my replacement brushes. But because I make polishes, when I make polishes to sell, I sell them in the bigger sizes. But when I'm experimenting on the formulas, and then also the ones that I keep for myself, I keep mini sizes. Now I don't like the brushes on the mini sizes, but that's, kind of the toss up. I get a more functional topper, and the payoff, the trade-off is that the brush isn't the best. You could use a full size if you want. I just am choosing to use the mini size. So you get your mini brushes. You can get these on TKB Trading. Takes forever to ship though. You can also get them if you only wanted a few, because I buy in bulk because I make polishes. If you only want to get a few, you can get them on Amazon as well. I bought them on Amazon once before. Get your mini polish bottle, and then also don't forget to put a little bead in it. I get mine on TKB Trading. If you had an old polish bottle, like your top coat, whenever you use up your top coat, just save the beads, and then you can always use them for other things. All right, so basically what you do is, to thin it out, you're just using nail polish base. You're putting the glitters, what I do, the ratio that I've discovered that works for me with the sparseness that I like is half base and then half of the polish. Now keep in mind this polish already has base in it, so it's not fully a 50-50 ratio of base to glitters, but it's a 50-50 ratio of base to this polish that already has base in it, if that makes sense. So what I do is I just pour my base a little less than 50% because I can always add more. And then I take my polish. Oops, let me get a, hold on, I have to get another, I forgot to get another stirring stick. Now again, sorry I'm out of frame, but again, for me, if I was doing, when I do the rest of my polishes, this is just for while I'm on camera, I will actually get my little measuring cups and I will use my mixer and I'll mix them that way. And then you just take your polish that you want to thin out. Not thin out, you're not thinning it out because it's thick. You're thinning it out because it's too dense. There's too much glitter to base ratio. So does that make sense? Before, it's because your base dried out and you're left with less base but the same amount of glitters. Here, it's not because your base has dried out, it's just because there's so many glitters into the base that it's just opaque. It's too opaque. Maybe opaque is a better word than dense. It's too opaque. So I want mine to be less opaque and more sparse. So then I will just simply pour in. And you can do, you can stop and then experiment, mix it up, experiment with how you like it. See how it's a lot harder to, I don't know if you can see, it's a lot harder to mix up because you're adding it, you're mixing it into so much base. So this is why I personally would be using my thinner, not thinner, my mixer. Okay, so then you do that. You're going to put the lid back on. I'm going to shake it up. And then you can test, see how you like it. If it's a little bit too sparse, you can add more, or you can add, because this bottle isn't full, I can add a little bit more base and then a little bit more glitters to see how I like it. Now I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to swatch this on the nail wheel so you can see how dense it is. And then I will swatch this on the nail wheel and I will show you the difference. I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so there you go. This one is just the regular without being thinned out. I hope you can see how opaque that is on the nail wheel. I mean, it's not opaque, like fully opaque, but it is, you could definitely get it opaque. I believe these toppers you could get opaque. And then this one is thinned out. And I really hope, I think you can see the difference. You can see how much sparser it is and it's more like a speckled look. And then this one I added just a little bit more base to fill the rest of the bottle. It didn't really seem to make too much of a difference. They look almost the same, but you can definitely see how these two are way less opaque than the first one. All right, you guys, that was all my tips and tricks that I can think of at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found some of this information helpful. Leave any comments down below. And if you think of any tips or tricks that you know of that you'd like me to share with, a larger audience, or if you want to see if I have a solution to it, leave them down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.